Hello, we are Eric and David, and today we are going to ask questions. Uh,
Our teacher Mario.
okay.
And how are you, Mario?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Okay. The I we start to the questions. The first question is, how did your passion to sport begin?
I remember it very clearly because it all started when I was doing my Erasmus year, and I tried snowboarding there because here in Andalusia we don't have that much snow, and I had the chance to try it there, and I really enjoyed it, and that's how I discovered sports and nature together, and it all started with it.
How many years you have when you do skateboarding?
I tried it for the first time. I tried it snowboarding for the first time when I was 23.
Mhm.
So that's now around, wow, 14 years ago.
Okay, the next question is, what sport have you played about your life?
The sport that I have been practicing the most is actually climbing, especially two types of climbing, which are sports climbing and bouldering. And I just love it because you can either do it in a climbing gym. Here in Malaga, we have two,
Mm.
and you can also go to the mountain and then practice it there. It's what I actually like the most. The other thing is just for me, it's just training.
Mm.
But climbing, it's very dangerous and difficult, no?
Well, as with everything, it depends on um, how much you want to get involved in it. That is, you can either do something very easy, or you can do something very difficult or even dangerous. For me, I just rather do something that is not very dangerous, but it's something that I enjoy, at least performing at a certain degree of difficulty.
Mhm.
Okay, the next question is, how did you get started in the world of climbing?
I started with it because it was something that I always wanted to try it. And after I came back from Germany, my Erasmus year, I went with some friends to a wall in the mountain, and we tried there. I really wanted to do it. I was very passionate about it, but we didn't have that much experience. So in the end, now that I know how to climb, I realized that what I did wasn't very safe because I didn't know the procedures to do them, but uh, it allowed me to start, and well, it was sort of a process because back then we didn't have climbing gyms to learn, or you just had to met the right, and you just have to, well, yeah, pretty much you had to get the right contacts in order to do it.
Mm. The next question is, what types of climbing exist and which one do you recommend to begin?
To beginners, I recommend just going to the climbing gym,
Mm.
because if you go to a mountain and try and climbing as I did when I started, is unnecessary dangerous. So I just I just think that you can go to the climbing gym, maybe do a course, learn a bit, and then decide what kind of climbing you want to do. Typically, bouldering or sports climbing are the most popular. And if you really like the risk, you can do traditional climbing, that is an entirely different thing, which is actually pretty dangerous. And I just did it once, and for me, it was kind of enough, to be
Mm.
honest. So,
Okay, and how safe is this sport if practiced correctly?
very safe. It's very, very, very safe. Typically, the accidents are just coming from human failure. So if human error, sorry, if you are not paying attention to what you need to do, or if you fall in maybe in a cumbersome way or something like that, is when you can get hurt. But typically, you are not going to kill yourself unless you are doing something very wrong, or you make a mistake that you shouldn't be making. With other types of climbing, such as multi-pitch, that is like going from, it's pretty much like climbing a mountain, not just climbing a wall and then going back down, but climbing a mountain. Or if you do traditional climbing, you have all the variables that can actually get you killed. I actually met people who ended up dead because of that, but that's why I don't really like it. I just enjoy climbing, but I like a certain degree of risk, but not too much.
You saw any people the climb?
I've seen accidents. I've
Yes.
seen them. I haven't seen anybody getting killed during climbing, but I've met people who ended up dead because of it. Not just the kinds of climbing that I typically do, but all the types of climbing that are more dangerous.
It's very common when you climbing the rock fall up, fall down.
Well, in bouldering and sports climbing, falling is a part of climbing. It's something that needs to happen in order for you to progress, to improve. But with traditional climbing or multi-pitch, that are the other two that I mentioned that are more dangerous, you shouldn't fall. So you have to have a strong mind. That's the thing with this sport. That is not only about your physique, how how strong you are, but how strong your mind is.
Next question is, have you ever had a serious scare while climbing?
No, I don't think so. Maybe, well, when you are at the top of a wall, you need to do some things, some techniques, to perform some techniques with your rope in order to prepare everything so you can get down. And once my carabiner was stuck and I couldn't open it, and I thought I was going to spend the night there, but it wasn't a serious scare. Another time when I was doing traditional climbing, I was I ended up being scared, but it was because it was around 300 meters of climbing and around 11 hours. So I was so tired that I couldn't handle my brain anymore. I just wanted, I just wanted to end the day and to go home, honestly. And I couldn't because there wasn't a wall. So
This is all. Thank you for listening and thank you for staying, Mario.
thank you to you.
Bye.
Bye.